Where did it all begin? Why are we here? Who are we? Where do we come from? What does it all mean?
There's a Christmas tree out there. And yes, it does light up. It's in the middle of a field. Yep. Anyway, Mystery's here. And I'm going to take a look at an old graveyard. I moved back to New England. And one of the fascinating things about New England is we have some of the oldest stuff. The asphalt that I'm on is called Thompson Street, with a P. And this graveyard is spelled like this. Plymouth used to be spelled like Pilgrim, but it isn't anymore. Some businesses have kept the old spelling tradition. I'm wondering if we're seeing some of the spell casting this community talks about by adding letters to words and the marble people's alphabet. I can only imagine, given our narrative, at one time in the 1700s, before this place was developed, when the Indians were hiding in the bush. No contractors, no houses, no population, just grass plains and thick forest, right? Maybe a wood shack or two before the convention of the blacktop. When sun-dried dusty trails would routinely turn to bumpy, slushy mud ruts under the thunder and lightning of the never-ending New England rain. I paint an image in my mind of a family riding on their crickety old wooden horse and buggy traveling past this comfortless, spooky graveyard, with mourning on their face, feeling equally alone as the unvisited buried, whilst they make their way nowhere except more lonely open plains. One of the things I find being away from New England the most is the visceral connection to the ghost of the old world. A time when the wizard alchemist deep in his forest cabin experimenting with potions and spells by candlelight, with a bit of apprehension in my step that I might stumble upon him like a 70s Queen song. I can still feel the pounding metal beat, tink, 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 of the old sweaty blacksmith and the horse and buggy clopping and clattering around here. Of course, we still smell the fire from the log cabin on the prairie, because that's basically where I live. But I'm not talking about the time we lived with the giants, right? I'm talking about one of our previous us-sized civilizations that, have been repopulated or reintroduced more than a few times. Yeah, I believe there's an ongoing booby trap for this piece of the realm. But that's a video for another time. One of the things about this place is this wall. I don't think there's any big mystery behind it. It's not super tech or anything, but that's not necessarily true, because these stones don't look the same all the way down. It looks like somebody replaced a lot of these stones at one time, because these aren't the same stones as these. And I only realized that not by passing the graveyard a bunch of times, but continuing to look at the footage that I took. And this question kept popping up in my head. Why are these stones square and the rest of these stones like this? See how they change? Like, this is not the same kind of stone. Just for example, neither is this. Now, is that a big mystery? I don't know. But why are they changing so much from here to here? This is porous stuff, right? This is a different kind of stone, especially these. How deep do these go? How deep does all of this go? That's why I said before, right? About these stones are definitely different. And another thing Another thing that I recognized is that, where's the mortar? Is there, like, did it corrode away, or did this thing not need mortar at one time? Because these rocks obviously don't need mortar, right? They're just thrown on top of each other. It's different, right? This wall is different. This looks like a part of the old wall. This is a stone from... But these ones aren't. Clearly. Some of them seem to be. I mean, why was this wall reconstructed? These down here might be... But this slate stuff, like... I don't know, were all these tombstones at one time and this thing went all the way like across? I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud that this wall is peculiar after looking at it a bunch of times, you know. You wouldn't recognize any of this just, as I said, just going by, but this kind of rock is different from this. So yeah, you know, and I read some history. This, William Tilson was a guy in the community long ago. But something's peculiar about this gate, too. I mean, I think this whole area is dug down a little bit. See how the wall changes? I mean, it's pretty obvious, in my opinion. That's something that's different about these stones that make up this thing and the stones that somebody, I don't know, we'll never know, will we? And you know, the thing is, this video was just supposed to be a walk through the graveyard. Just a simple video, and it's turned into friggin' bunch of mysteries. Of course, right? Especially about this, and you know, it wasn't supposed to be all about this. About this tomb thing here. But it's turned into it because every time I look at the footage I realize something else. And I wanted to keep the video gloomy with no sun, but you know, that's not gonna happen. Anyway, something else about this too. I might as well do this while I'm here. Where's my hand? There's a band, if you will, around this. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there's a strange band around this. Now, I might be able to show it to you better because the grass wasn't so long, but the grass has started growing. You can see it, right? So my speculation here is this grass ring is where they filled in the hole and planted grass on top to cover the destruction of a much larger or taller structure. Possibly it looked like this at one time. These are structures and graveyards in Massachusetts. And this is just scratching the surface of the offerings that Massachusetts has for crazy tombs. And you know, this may have been one of them, or all that's left of one of them, because this area has to feel like the Pilgrims started New England with nothing but bare hands and wood, and of course hardly any people. Now here's the speculation. The bozos that did this just fabricated just fabricated this crappy wall because that's all they could handle doing with this rubble, stone, and debris. The residue may have been too much and too big for their rickety equipment, to haul away to another location. More than likely, this wall was created by dynamiting the structure. So I went to see what kind of metal tools the Pilgrims may have been working with, right? Because, I'm curious. Not surprisingly, our history has changed. The Pilgrims' Mayflower ship was armed to the teeth with 12 cannons. 8 were the notorious Minion, a 1,200-pound over 1-mile cannon shot. Then I found out that they had this fort that they built with howitzer cannons in Plymouth to defend the colony. Wait, what? I've lived here all my life, and I never heard of the religious Pilgrims being ready for any kind of conflict whatsoever. Never mind reconstructions of such things at the museums or on the plantation for that matter. They were never there when I was a kid. What the Unless, of course, the most evil, vile, and unruly wealthy came here on their blimps and cargo vessels, because I don't think ships made those voyages. That's my personal opinion. I think that flying craft of all shapes and sizes has been here a long time, because all you really need to do is figure out how to use a balloon and a sail, and you're in the air. And they were coming here because they knew the land over here was macerated. Oh, and I do believe there was some war in conjunction with this. Either coming over here or people were already here, Portugal, France, Spain, UK, Russia, and probably Egypt too. All fighting for supremacy over the treasure of a fallen super tech society. And actually, the real gold rush, right? Once again, history may be a ruse, and the Pilgrims did come here looking for a fight. And of course, the truth of that just wasn't taught for a decade or more. And the lifestyle of a pilgrim is probably fictitious on all accounts. I mean, it's possible, right? Nothing is off the table, as I like to say. I don't know. Anyway, I guess I'll get back to editing this up. I don't know, can you tell me where does the original wall begin and then the thrown together wall begin? Did I say that right? Where did the original... See these rocks? They look like they're from the original. They look like the rocks that are down there. But the rest of them, too many of them, a lot of them don't. Like this one looks original. Right, did I do that? This one looks original. This one seems original. This one is... On first inspection, this doesn't look strange, but then, like all mysteries of the realm, as you look deeper, you start to find questions arise about most things. I don't know what all this is. This looks pretty neat, but again, there's still no mortar, and it looks sort of thrown together. So anyway, I don't know. I'm just questioning what we're seeing here. Of course, right? This one looks like... I don't know what it looks like. There's certain moss that's growing on certain rocks. Because certain rocks look like they're part of certain construction. But then you'll see moss that's growing on rocks that don't look like the other construction. Look at. I don't know what that is. Don't ask me. I don't know. Are some of these rocks from the graveyard? Or a different graveyard? Or a different part of something altogether? Like there is a bit of a mystery in this wall. Look at this rock all splitting. I don't know, it's just so fascinating. For me, Mysteries of the Realm is fascinating, right? That's why I do this. Anyway, there's something down here too. We're gonna go over here. And again, this video wasn't supposed to be all about that wall and all about that tomb. But now, you know, I just can't. Once I start investigating something, I can't let it go till I do a thorough job. And boots on the ground is one of those things where I feel like you can't go too far from home, because once you get away from the site of the boots on the ground, you look at the footage, right? And then you find, oh, gee, I wish I saw more of that, or I wish I did a more thorough job on where did this thing go? I'm kind of lost here. Wait a minute, I think it's over here. Oh yeah, here we go. Drew burial plot, 1807. So, I don't know, I saw this driving by and I just wanted to see. But of course, it looks like somebody damaged it, or it got ruined over time, or 1842. There's some, you know, again, see, this gives evidence to the fact that there was a much larger graveyard somewhere, and they made a stone wall out of it. And that tomb is part of the old world. You know, 1700s is pretty old world, right? And then they like, somebody destroyed something. And then they fabricated this wall or something. I mean, you know, like I said, I'm just thinking out loud. And my video of this graveyard, if I didn't already mention it, turned into a super rant. And I even did a bunch of commentary. I wrote a script afterwards. And, you know, said a bunch of other stuff. And like I said, it just turned into a rant that didn't necessarily have, but I have so much footage of the graveyard now, because so many things were mysteries. So many things popped up that seemed to be a mystery, that I said, well, I can make this video longer, so why don't I just throw a bunch of thoughts into this script. So that's what I did, and I don't know if you guys even be interested in that. I don't know what I'm gonna do now, because this video has gotten away from me. And it could be 3 damn hours long, for crying out loud, but it shouldn't be. It was just supposed to be a walk through the damn graveyard. And let you guys come along with me. Anyway. Alright, that's the end of this segment. This is so strange. I don't know what to think. Some of these rocks look literally burnt. And again, some of them are the same. Like this is clearly not. Broken, literally broken. And then when we get here, right, it changes. It looks like it used to be so neat and beautiful, mortar or not. And then, this is very typical of a gravestone, right? The way these look up here. I'll show you more of that later. Anyway, look at right angle. Strange, right? I mean, is it strange? Am I off my friggin' rocker? I don't really think so. Something's peculiar about all this. Look at, literally broken. That's broken. Snapped, whatever you want to call it. I could stay here all day, guys. Investigating things, looking at things. And you're probably thinking, no, great. This guy's gonna make a video about this for the rest of his life. Well, I probably could. Anyway, for now,
Where did it all begin? Why are we here? Who are we? Where do we come from? What does it all mean?